say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Good evening, good evening. Hold on, I feel like I need to put the shades on. See if I can still see the screen. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red, and it is the post-weigh-in conversation, discussion. Just seeing them on the scales. I'm just going to talk about the main event because yesterday I was supposed to be on here really quickly, and then I ended up being on here for an hour. We're not going to do that today. But what I will say before we go ahead is all the best to all of the fighters tomorrow night, and may the best fighter win. I like this card. As the week's gone on, it's grown on me more and more. It's not just about the main events. It's about the other fights that are on the card as well. I can see once again that the energy is starting to shift. We're sort of getting, I think it was more of a 2080 towards Moses, and now it's starting to shift. I don't know if you guys do the betting odds. That's down to you. I don't know. But I think there's a shift towards Dillian. Maybe those negative odds aren't that negative anymore. So good evening to all of you. I'd like to shout out DG, who's become a member. Thank you. All of the support helps the channel, and it helps me to get to events as well, alongside my sponsor, SA UK. So shout out to them as well. Don't know where their logo's gone. Should be on there, but whatever. We do have these glitches when we go live. So yeah, Legal Eagles starts the chat off. Moses showed some nervous energy after the face-off. Right, this is where we get into our armchair and analysis or analytics. I was looking at the chat as it was going up on DAZN. I'm reading the comments because I like to get a feel for obviously what I'm thinking, what the fans are saying. I'd say it's quite split. Somebody was saying that Dillian looked nervous and Moses looked calm. But let me get into the chat. This chat's starting to come in now. Greetings to you, Iffy. All of a sudden, people are now seeing Whyte can cause upset. I've been saying it since day one. Alexander, back again. October, stop it. Dillian has no chance. He doesn't have the legs to deal with Moses. I haven't actually predicted this one, Alex. What nervous energy. You're clutching at straws. I want Whyte to win. Chili Tea. Oh my gosh, that's a blast from the past. I haven't seen you for ages. I want Whyte to win. I love a good upset. You know, as the week as it goes on, and obviously we're on the eve of this now, I really don't know how it's going to go. Did you see the weights? Because the weights as well. Dillian's coming what, 20 pounds lighter, 30 pounds lighter than he was before. Is he on the two? Was he on the 245 mark? Where's he gone? Was he about 244? And I think Moses was on 245. So when he fought Ebenezer Tete, he was 261. So he's dropped a bit. Yeah, he's dropped, what, nearly 20 pounds, over 20 pounds. And let's have a look at Moses. Let's have a look, because Moses is coming lighter as well, because he was 254 in his last fight out. Everybody says that Moses looks quite small. He isn't. He just carries his weight well. And I think because he's young, he still looks like fresh. He's not, you know, this bodybuilder physique, but you obviously know that he's strong. We've seen what he's pushing in the gym, and we've seen what he's doing to the opponents in the ring. Let's have a look. How does Dillian negate Moses' ranging, controlling the jab and body attack? It's a good question, and this is going to be down to the skill, because the only way Dillian can do that is if he, you know, if he gets inside. He's got to get inside, because Moses has got lovely levers, but so has Dillian. You've got to look at the speed. When you look at the fighters, we do know that Moses is quite quick in and out. And that is one thing I will say with the Davison gym. They're quick in and out. I saw it with Jamie Takivi, the way that he'll feint to the body, then jab straight to the head. There's certain things that they do where you can see the athleticism. Obviously, Moses is really young. He is fast. He is snappy. Dillian does have a powerful jab. If he can double jab and get inside, then obviously he can have a play. But can he match up to that speed? Will Moses be expecting this? It just depends on the IQ, moving around the ring, speed, able to counteract that speed. So Dillian's got to try and cut the ring off, try and pin him down, corner him, whatever he does. Has he still got that sharp left hook that he can throw in the ring? But also, don't underestimate Dillian's jab. Is if he can land it, because Dillian has got a hell of a reach. I'm not going to get the tape measure out now, but I know it's quite long for his height. I'm talking about his reach, by the way. So it's a good point, Skyliner, and I don't know. I'm going to leave that for you guys in the chat to discuss. Right, Vic says, go on, Dillian, wounded animal. Yes, that was something that Moses said when Dev Sani asked him, what do you see? I see a wounded animal. Ooh, I like those digs, because it's good to have those digs just before the fight. Is Moses nervous? Yeah, and quite rightly so. He should be nervous. This is a massive fight for him. This is all about him. Just like Dillian says, this is all about him. The pressure is there on him. Of course, he's going to be nervous. I know he said in interviews, I think he only got nervous once, and that was an amateur bout where he ended up stopping the guy in the first round anyway. But it's normal to feel nervous. It's not necessarily, oh, I'm scared. It's like, it's an emotional time. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, I'd say he's nervous, but for the right reasons. Is Dillian nervous? No, because he's going in there as, well, not as nervous as Moses, because he's going in there as the underdog, isn't he? He's going in there with the one that is expected to lose, the one that they're going to get with this uppercut, the one that they're going to go for the KO for. So the odds are stacked against Dillian. But that's a secret advantage in my eyes, because then what has he got to prove if everybody thinks he's going to lose anyway? And I think that will fuel him. Go back and watch the interview. Which one? That was Legal Eagles. Rocos in Argos. Yes, Andrew, there definitely will be. Wounded Animal is going to be a roadkill. Wow. Skyliner, you're going for Moses. Dillian on Mega Juice to look that good. Do you think so, Vic? You don't think that's just normal training, the road running that he's been doing, staying out of, the way? I saw that. In fact, the fact that you've mentioned this, Vic, I think somebody wrote it about the testing. I read somewhere, and it was in the comments that I was replying to, because people were obviously not talking to him about the testing, and somebody mentioned it. And I think it was Seconds Out. I think it was Eamon Kant from Seconds Out. So shout out to him. Mentioned, is this going to be subject to VADA testing? Which Frank said, yes, it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. So Vic, to answer your question, there is testing there. So we'll see. Wagwan. Whyte didn't look nervous at all. That's iffy. All he basically got was a local crowd on his side with the chanting. Yeah, and I think a couple of people were saying a Jamaican Muslim. Dillian's mom is Muslim. I don't know if Dillian's in the faith, but I know that his mom is Jamaican, and obviously she's Muslim. So yes, you can have Jamaican Muslims. Islam is a religion that's everywhere. It's not just from the East. So yeah. Let's have a look. Aaron Daly, salute to the best conversationalist. Shout out to Birmingham. The industry, October Red, 0121, always. That is my heart. I hope Whyte wins. Can't see it, but I really hope he does. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think with the nostalgia around Dillian back in the scene, it's like, oh, is it going to be like the good old days? And it plays on your memory. The thing is, how I look at it is Dillian's amazing. Get on with him really well. Fantastic guy. Moses is cool as well. So I think sometimes when people are saying that they want Dillian to win, it's not because they necessarily want Moses to lose. They just want Dillian to have his day in the sun before he maybe walks off into the sunset. Everyone's talking about this, old, that. And Usyk is a year older than him. Zhilei Zhang, I think, was 40, 41. These words that they're using to go against him, yes, there's a massive age gap between the opponents. So when you compare it, yes, he's a lot older. But to say that he's an old man in the heavyweights, you've got to apply that to the other fighters as well, because I've never heard. Obviously, Usyk is elite. He's undisputed world champion. He's beat 3 of his opponents twice. He is the Don, but no one has ever mentioned his age and said, potential father time for him. So we'll see. No, he's not weathered. I get it. Dillian's been down a few times and he's had some bad shots. So is that what they say when they say he's old? Not necessarily age, but weathered in the ring. We'll soon find out. Saturday night, we're going to find out. I've got to agree with you there. It's genetics and consistency. But look, everyone's going to say what they want to say. And the proof is always in the pudding. We're going to find out who Dillian is on the weekend. We're going to find out who Moses is on the weekend. And I'm looking forward to it. I am nervous. So tomorrow, I think I said I'm going to go live probably for the last 4 fights. If I don't do the Hrgovic Adelaide, it will definitely be the last 3. I'm umming and ahhing about that depending on tomorrow, but I definitely will be live for the last 3 fights. But if you see me come on screen with the balaclava and the sunglasses I've got on when Dillian starts the fight, when Dillian and Moses start, that's just me trying to hide all expression, all emotion. I've got a few masks as well. Actually, I'll tell you what, if it was closer to Halloween, let me try not to drop anything here because I'm a massive fan. I could wear my Halloween mask. I've also got the Purge, Scream, and some other dodgy ones as well. Who knows? Keep it entertaining. Right. Chris Ross is saying Ituama is going to flatten your boy. Whose boy, Chris? Is Ituama your boy? Whyte has long arms indeed. He does. He's got a good range. Listen, like I said, I do not know who's going to win this fight. I've stayed away from the predictions on purpose, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Martin comes in. Hello, Martin. Good to see you. Whyte's feet are too slow and he overreaches. Yes, he does. And that's why he gets caught with that shot. He's often off balance. He's getting starched early. I think everyone agrees that the earlier rounds are going to be the most dangerous. It's really weird when we do all these predictions and then fight night comes and we have all these analysis that we do as we sit down and discuss this. And then it just doesn't happen that way. It's just, it just completely goes out the water and maybe the end result might be the same, but it's not how we thought it would do. Very rare that we get it spot on. Alexander says that Dillian hasn't had a good performance since 2018. Think about that. I think you did say that yesterday. Can he turn back the clock? Are we living in a dream world? Is it, the last go at the rodeo? Buddy McGirt said to me, if he loses bad, then that's it for him. Not if he loses bad. So that was what, Buddy said. Obviously, we're looking at all eventualities when I spoke to him. And he was convinced that if he does lose bad, and you guys know what that means, get, like you said, starched, knocked out, whatever, then he's going to say, you know what, allow it, leave it. Right, let's have a look. Wounded Animal will be playing over Whyte's head until he lands tomorrow. Vic goes on to say, who knows? Everyone always says all these boxers at the top are on juice, so who knows, right? That's true, because I'm not with them 24/7. I always say let them go all out. I want to see a 300-pound AJ fast as F. I don't think we're going to see that. Did you guys have a look on social media? I don't know if it's an old clip and somebody's revamped something, but was he doing some kind of Achilles, calf exercises, unless it was just a really heavy weight, but somebody started some kind of rumor. I'm not going to back that rumor. So allegedly that he potentially may have a calf injury or Achilles. I saw something on socials earlier, but regardless, it's looking like Jake Paul next year. It's going to happen. Money fight. I'm disappointed because, like I said, but it's not, I don't know. It's not a fight I'd like to see him have, but at the end of the day, he's the one that's getting the money for it. And will I watch it? Yeah, probably. And that's the hypocrite in me. If he says Whyte is training in a hot country and has upped his cardio, yeah, I know he's upped his cardio. I saw the videos, some of the stuff that he was putting up in his stories. Also got those good genes due to the melanin in his skin. Dillian has had 3 drug tests turn up positive. Hey, let's just, it might not happen this time. Tunde ain't no pressure on Ituama. It's behind a pay-per-view paywall that would do 700 buys and 200 Saudi mandem in attendance. He'll smoke that 2 left foot boy. I know that isn't the real Tunde, because Tunde wouldn't say that. That's, you know what's really weird? That you'd make up an account with somebody else's name on it. Yeah. Hergovic being in good shape has me worried for Adelaide. Yeah, Hergovic has looked in, really good shape. He's really taking this seriously, as Adelaide does as well. I'm looking forward to that fight. Like I said, I do believe Adelaide can get the W on this. He finds a way. If he can move out of the way of those Hergovic's backhands, which I'm sure that they've practiced for, the 1-2, the 1-2, the basics, the 1-2, the Olympics, the 1-2, the core of boxing, the 1-2, he might be able to do some damage, but we'll see. We will see. Dodge, how you doing? Yes, Dodge, it was you that was saying that. Was it about the testing? I think it was you. Or was you talking about Duke? What Duke McKenzie said about the heart. I am not the UK Drewski. Isn't Drewski a man? I think Moses is going to KO Dillian in a great fight lasting less than 4.5 rounds. That's quite specific. 4.5 rounds. Nathan is putting his money on it. Or is he? Iffy. I want to know what Iffy's betting odds are, because I know Iffy likes to do his betting. Right, so Andrew saying if AJ fights Jake Paul, shows his ambition has gone. Now, I'm not one... I don't like to disrespect fighters, because they all have their rhyme, they all have their reason, their purpose. And I'm just a fan. Obviously, that will be on pay-per-view, so I guess I'll be a pay-per-view fan. But I would like to see him fight another boxer, but he can do what he likes. But fighting Jake Paul doesn't suggest to me that you want to get back to the top of where you were as a fighter, because how many fights has he got left? Remember, it wasn't so long ago we put up the cryptic post about he threw his first punch with Matchroom, and he's going to throw, after 12 years, he's going to throw his last punch. And people construed, and people said, oh, is he going to retire? No, it just means that he's going to stay loyal as he does, etc., etc. Who knows? But if he's going to make a few quid, you can't argue with that, can you? If he wants to make money, if he wants to go walk away, I think Eddie Hearn on one of his interviews recently said, I think it was IFL, so shout out to Coogan from IFL, potentially an average cost of, £30 worldwide, an average cost, and how many million pay-per-view buys, and then obviously there's the gate money, etc. It's a huge amount of money. If you was Anthony Joshua, would you do that as well? Would you just take that change? Not that he needs it, but if you can take it, why not? But you can't. If whatever happens with Jake Paul, beating Jake Paul is not a confidence builder, and nothing is to be taken from that. So yeah, Andrew, I get it. Toby Ringel Bartlett, good evening, Abs. You're going to be turkeying tomorrow night. And I mean turkeying is withdrawing from not seeing the Ring Girls, before anybody takes that the wrong way. All is definitely well. Right, heard it's Tyson Fury versus Logan Paul and Jake Paul versus AJ on the same card next year in February in the USA. I hope that's a joke. I hope that's a joke, Nathan. I really hope that's a joke. Now I know you're not Tunde. Hearn is dressed like he's going to an all-white party on Lozells Road. Bless. James, good evening to you. Both Fury and AJ are mugging off the fans at this point. Would you watch it though, Nathan? That's the question. I get what you're saying, but would you watch it? Because even though I'm not happy with those type of fights, I'll still watch them. And I do have respect for Jake Paul, because he takes the sport very serious. But when you look at positioning. You look at people fighting to get their place in rankings, fighting to get their places so they can get shots. And then all of a sudden, because you're a superstar, because he's a massive celebrity, he's got a huge following. You've seen what he's doing with Most Valuable, the paying the women, boosting up Most Valuable promotions. Look what he's done with Amanda Serrano. Look at the money that he's made with like Katie Taylor, Amanda, etc. They're signing up loads of people. You have to respect his game. And it's not that I'm disrespecting Jake Paul at all, because I'm not. I just think it's just not, when you look at people in positions, what they've achieved, it's not a proper matchup, is it? If I was a matchmaker, I wouldn't look and go, yeah, I'm going to put that potential cruiserweight that's like a businessman and a YouTuber that's, box some people. I'm going to put him in with eight. I'll just, no. Alexander says, don't forget Hrgovic fights dirty. Yeah, I think David can get dirty if he wants to as well, to be fair. Dillian looks good, but can't believe how big Moses looks. Moses by KO inside 5. Ooh, interesting. I don't know if it comes from the school of Davison, but a lot of his stock like to fight with low hands. Even Ituama has this habit. I remember, actually, Chile, somebody in Moses's last fight was commenting about he can't keep it. He's one of the commentators. I can't remember if we did a live on it, but it was picked up that he can't leave his hands low when he starts to step up opponents. So I do remember seeing that comment somewhere. And now that you've pointed it out, I just thought it was his style, because some guys do that. They'll twitch up from the waist and throw the jab quite easily. But I think his backhand that he keeps low. I'm trying to remember his fight now, his last fight. Same weight as these heavyweights, but 3 inches shorter. Is that you, Jazzy? Good evening. Fighting Paul doesn't mean anything of the sort. It means he's robbing the bank until Fury stops ducking. Let's be real. Well, according to Nathan, and I think Nathan's trolling at this point, he was saying that Fury's going to fight his brother, but that's cap. Right. Hrgovic looks in shape. He will win by points. Interesting. And you're a former Fury fan. Yeah. Look, entertaining characters in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury is one of them. I can see why he's got the fans. I can see why AJ's got the fans, why Deontay Wilder had the fans, why Usyk has the fans. It's all about that personality. Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora, to name the ones that really stood out in this era. So yeah, and Fury's a good boxer. If you look at it, I think Usyk was really fought his hardest. I mean, like when it comes to speed, accuracy, output, when he fought Tyson Fury. He said he trained really hard for that fight. He's never mentioned that he's trained as hard. Obviously, I know he just went in with Dubois, but when you listen to his interviews, the conversations that he's had, he trained really hard for that second Fury fight. So Fury is a good boxer, but he's doing his retirement thing. He'll probably be back in a bit anyway. Nathan definitely trolling. Oh, I think Frank Warren mentioned potentially, obviously, that Parker deserves the fight with Usyk, but obviously Usyk is out with an injury. So he's taking a little break while he rehabs and all the rest of it. So we'll see. Vic, isn't AJ versus Jake Paul some sort of legalized murder? Well, the boxing is. You've got a license to potentially kill, haven't you? That's not the aim, but that can actually happen, can't it? And if it does happen legally within the boxing legal, then you sign the contract. You can't get done for it. So it is what it is. Not to digress, Alexander says, but it was announced that Virgil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin is going down in October, and that's a good fight. When was that announced? When was that? Is that recent? I must have missed this. And this is because I'm so deep in the Saudi stuff, I haven't seen it. Yes, I do know who Corey Gibbs is. Lya Gibbs. And he's fighting tomorrow. So I'm going to wish him all the best for his fight tomorrow. Corey Gibbs, a good fighter. He just hasn't had the limelight that he deserves, but a good fighter, and he's out tomorrow. I think it's Manning's promotion, so he's fighting in Birmingham tomorrow. So shout out to Corey Gibbs. His brother's the one that's trained me, even though I haven't been boxing training in a bit. So shout out to Tion Gibbs as well. Lovely. Love the Gibbs guys. And shout out to the Brummies over that side as well. Right, Dodger says, yeah, I'm going Moses in 4. Hands and feet are way too fast, but I'm looking forward to the Hergovich fight. Something tells me it'd be full of lots of stuff. Elaborate on that. Which way? From both of them or from one side? To be honest, if the fight's on Netflix, I'll give it a watch. But if it's pay-per-view, I won't even bother. Well, this is where we've got an issue because Eddie said that Anthony Joshua is a contracted DAZN fighter. He can't fight on any other platform. But we do know that Most Valuable have aired their fights on DAZN. So more than likely, it will be on DAZN. I know they're doing all negotiations and stuff, but I think it's quite rigid that he can only fight on DAZN. They've got the full rights to Anthony Joshua, but we'll see. We shall see. DG, good evening. Dillian looks good. Moses has flaws. And everyone Moses has beaten, Dillian would beat. Come on, Dillian. So we've got the Dillian supporters. I love the fact that this chat is so balanced. Nobody is, it's not one-sided in here. And that is what I love about you guys. The fact that our conversation, we can mix it up because there's arguments for both. And even if you think whoever's going to get knocked out, I do like the differences in opinion, because if we were all thinking the same thing, that just means it's an easy fight. It's one-sided, but there's always a risk. And this is a risky fight. Let's have a look. Only Wavy Ballas. Good evening. I don't think I've seen you before, so good evening to you. Ituama will KO Whyte. 2 to 3 rounds. Very easy work. So we've heard 2 to 3 rounds, 4.5 rounds. Nobody said the round that they think Dillian's going to knock him out, though. The ones that have said Moses are going to get him, they've predicted rounds. But where's you Dillian fans? What rounds are you saying that he's going to do it in? So, yeah. Metalbox J, good evening. I think Whyte will get disqualified. He'll be leaning, elbowing, and low blowing all night. I do think there's going to be a bit of win by any means necessary, judging from what I spoke with Buddy. And I do think Ben Davison will be on the referee to make sure he's... I wouldn't be surprised, put it that way, I wouldn't be surprised if they get anywhere near close to each other, the ref is jumping in, break, break, break. It's going to be one of them fights, and that could get quite frustrating. And as we know, break doesn't necessarily mean stop the fight, so we could get those sort of shots going in. We've seen it before. So Eddie said AJ may be fighting in Africa, Ghana, drama in Ghana. Yeah, but who's he going to fight? Because it's not going to be Jake Paul, is it? And Tony Yoka, you know, is quite saying, yeah, they're going over to Ghana because it's going to be the fight with me. And Eddie's going, no, I don't think so. You're on a list, but it's not necessarily going to be him. So, yeah. Within the last hour, okay, fair enough. That's why I've missed it. Right. So if he's saying he's got Ford, Adelaide, and Whyte to win tomorrow, interesting. Yeah, listen, is he off his rocker? To be fair, Iffy, and if you're new here, Iffy's bets usually come off because that's how we first met. Because Iffy went in for the upset with a fighter many lives ago, and since then he's been spot on with his bets. So we'll see. I'm not saying that he's always right, but he's not really that wrong. Okay, Liar Gibbs, Tion Gibbs, and Corey are my uncles. So shout out to uncles and shout out to you as well. Right, Jazzy, oh yeah, he makes me look Gad. Gad is the type of person to hum-dum-de-dum-de-dum as he moves Monopoly piece across the board. He's quite funny. Did you see the look on Moses' face when he asked him about the shower? Yeah, comedy gold. I love that stuff. It's off the cuff. It's Gareth. He's out there, but it's entertaining. And it's one of those clips that could be used in years' time. I mean, who'd have thought that clip, the first time when he asked Dillian, would lasted up until now. until both clips are being played together. So what Daz is saying, Whyte 10-1 KO. Ooh, Alexander's saying, I think Buddy's going to pull the plug for Dillian. He'll be keeping a close eye. He'll be keeping a close eye, as any fighter would. But I think there was one of you guys in here yesterday that was saying that the other way around, that if it gets a bit techie for young Moses, they'll pull him to obviously live to fight another day. He's the younger fighter, etc., etc. Oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. Toby Ring Girls is saying AJ versus Jake Paul. I thought AJ said at one time he didn't want any gimmick fights. He did when the Ngannou fight was originally suggested, but I guess he's changed his mind with the Ngannou and now Jake. I don't, unless I speak to him, which there's more chance of me getting a pile of poop out of a wooden rocking horse. I'd ask him all of these questions because it's the obvious thing is it's money. So when it comes to money, what are you prepared to do to get money? And if he's fighting Jake Paul, well, it's not going to be because he just feels like it. It's for a payday, isn't it? And people are allowed to change their minds. I'd love to sit down with him and discuss all of this, go through his legacy so far. The fact that he did say he didn't want any of those type of fights. He fought, obviously, Ngannou, got him out there sharpish. And now it's really looking like he's going to fight Jake Paul. So it is a matter of, well, what are you actually doing then? What do you want to do? Yeah, Metal Box J, I am going to the cinema to watch The Conjuring, as I do. It's out, I believe, is it September the 5th? So I will be going to watch that. Can't wait. Alexander saying that Moses' speed will be the key. And he is. He's very, very fast on his feet. You find Gareth a bit fruity. He's all right. He's harmless. But listen, it's good to see that we've got differences in opinions. More or less everybody's saying that he's going to be a KO of some sort. A couple of people have said points. I think that's with Adelaide Hergovich. I want to see Nick Ball go all the way as well. Lovely kid. I know his opponent. I think his opponent's a couple of years younger than him. I think Nick Ball's 28 and his opponent's about 26. His opponent, I believe, has had more fights. I was having a little look up on him. His KO ratio is a little bit low compared to the amount of fights that he's got. We know what Nick Ball brings. The height difference isn't too much, so I don't think Nick will find this fight much of a problem. But hey, stranger things have happened. And when you have cards and fights at this magnitude, there were guaranteed to be upsets. So we will see what will happen tomorrow night. Let's have a look. I'm going to go through the last couple on here, and then I'm going to sign out for the evening. No need to pick around for Dillian to win. Dillian stops him. Moses pulls back in straight lines, and Dillian knows how to exploit that. It's not obvious that AJ is waiting around for Fury. What is hard to understand? It's so obvious. He can rob the bank with Paul, and Fury is blatantly ducking him. Is he ducking him, or he just doesn't want to fight him? Because, Fury comes across the type of person that he's like, nah, I don't even want to give you the payday. So I don't know. Is he ducking him? We will soon find out. Listen, I said this was going to be a quick one. We are on half an hour because I know tomorrow it's going to be a few hours. Keep the notifications on. Obviously, it's conversations and commentary. There is no footage. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. I need to learn how to do the polls, and then I'll try and set one up in the chat before tomorrow. But if you see me in a balaclava, a mask, sunglasses, whatever it is, crazy stuff tomorrow night, it's because I'm nervous. Never mind the fighters, I'm nervous. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to say au revoir, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. So, as we say at October Red, I shall put these on actually, because everyone's doing this shades business now, aren't they? I'll put them on. Shades in the house. Yes. Adios. Good night.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
October October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.